Hey there. Welcome to CyberPulse by Quantum Shield, the podcast where we make cybersecurity less intimidating and a lot more exciting. Every episode, we're diving into the latest digital drama, from sneaky hackers to the coolest defense strategies, all while sharing tips you can actually use. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's navigate this crazy digital world together.
Ever get that nagging feeling, that something's not quite right, but you can't quite put your finger on it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That little voice in the back of your head saying, wait a minute.
Exactly. And sometimes that little voice is trying to warn you about social engineering.
It's true. A lot of people think cybersecurity is all about firewalls and fancy algorithms, but the reality is...
It's about hacking people.
Right. It's about exploiting our natural tendencies, our trust, our desire to help, all the things that make us human.
And that's exactly what we're diving deep into today, how social engineering uses psychology to turn us from users into, the used.
And I think one of the best ways to understand this is by looking at how these attacks actually work.
Totally. So let's take a look at some of the common tactics. One that always gets me is authority. Like if someone claiming to be from, say, your bank calls you and tells you to update your account information, most people would comply without a second thought.
Of course. We're conditioned to trust authority figures, whether it's a police officer, a doctor, or even just someone in a uniform.
Exactly. And attackers know this. They exploit that ingrained trust by impersonating people or organizations we deem credible.
And it's not just about titles or uniforms. They might use technical jargon, name-drop industry experts, anything to make themselves seem more knowledgeable or powerful.
Oh, like those emails that are supposedly from your CEO asking for urgent financial transfers?
Exactly. Speaking of urgent, that brings us to another favorite tactic, creating a sense of urgency.
Right. The whole act now or miss out strategy.
Limited time offers, exclusive deals, they all play on our fear of missing out, what psychologists call loss aversion.
And don't even get me started on scarcity. Only 2 tickets left at this price. Suddenly, everyone's scrambling to book that flight.
It's amazing how a simple phrase can trigger such a powerful emotional response. We hate feeling like we've missed an opportunity, so we're more likely to make impulsive decisions.
It's like they're playing us like fiddles. And then there's the familiarity tactic. Have you ever gotten an email that seemed a little too personal, like it knew a little too much about you?
Oh, yeah. Maybe it referenced a recent purchase or mentioned a conference you attended.
Right. It makes you think, oh, they must know me. This must be legit. But it could just be cleverly disguised information gathering.
Exactly. Social engineering isn't always about outright deception. It's about building rapport, establishing trust, so you let your guard down.
Which is terrifying when you think about the potential consequences. We're talking identity theft, financial ruin, even companies facing massive data breaches.
Yeah, and those consequences can be far-reaching. Remember the Target breach a few years back?
Don't remind me.
It all started with a phishing email sent to one of their HVAC vendors.
No way, just one email.
Just one. And it gave the attackers access to Target's entire network, compromising millions of credit card numbers. It ended up costing the company millions of dollars, not to mention the damage to their reputation.
Okay, that's enough to make anyone paranoid. But knowing all this, what can our listeners do to protect themselves? It can feel so overwhelming.
I get it. But there are some simple things you can do. The first, and this is crucial, be wary of any unsolicited requests for personal information.
So even if it looks like it's from someone you know or a company you trust?
Especially then. If an email, a phone call, a text message, if anything seems even slightly off, take a step back. Don't click on any links, don't reply, don't give out any information.
So basically channel your inner skeptic.
Exactly. Verify the sender's email address carefully, look for grammatical errors or typos, hover over links before you click to see where they really lead.
And if you're still not sure, trust your gut and verify it independently.
Right. Call your bank directly, visit the company's official website, report any suspicious activity to the appropriate authorities.
Okay, that's a lot of great advice. We've covered the hows and the whys of social engineering, but I'm left wondering something. Do you think all this time we spend online, our constant digital connection, makes us more vulnerable to these tactics?
That's a really interesting question, I think.
It's like we're so used to getting information quickly, so used to clicking and sharing, that we don't always stop and think.
Yeah, it's definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us on CyberPulse. Remember, cybersecurity doesn't have to be scary. It's all about staying sharp and a little bit savvy. Keep learning, stay curious, and don't let those cyber gremlins get you down. Catch you next time, and until then, stay safe, stay smart, and keep crushing it online.